Ah, the classic 1994 film based off of Stephen King's novella Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. This year marks the film adaptation's 30th anniversary. Do I even need to introduce this masterpiece? I think not, so let's dig in. Get it? Rotten Tomatoes shows that 89% of critics approved of this film.
But wait!
There's a twist, so stick around to find out what it is. And the audience gave it 98%. Obviously, both scores should be at 100%, right? The critics reviewed Shawshank Redemption. Now it's time for us to review the critics. Desson Thompson from Washington Post says, "It wanders down subplots and ignores narrative exit points before settling on the aforementioned finale." Does Desson know how a plot is built, how context is set? The use of subplots helps flesh out the story by giving it structure and nuance. Subplots are what make a story more three-dimensional. Do you know what? Desson, if you're watching this, it's all going over your head because you obviously can't handle a three-dimensional critique, much less a three-dimensional story. Stephen Farber from Movieline says, "In truth, it's the purest Hollywood hokum. A sunny, heart-tugging hymn to that old chestnut, the indomitability of the human spirit." The human spirit, how stupid! Movies like Castaway and Gladiator and Apollo 13, stupid waste of films. How dare Hollywood make movies about the endurance of the human spirit? You damn sickos! Take your Aaron Ralston and your James Braddock and your Bob Wiley and tell us stories about people suffering and losing just inches from the finish line.
What's in the box?
The Avengers should have ended with Infinity War. How dare Hollywood filmmakers give us hope for redemption, especially Shawshank Redemption. Leonard Schwartz from Palo Alto Weekly says, "The Shawshank Redemption continually abandons plausibility in order to celebrate the triumph of hope over despair, of decency over cruelty, of justice over injustice." Not sure if this critic was aware, but the title of the film itself kind of hints at what the movie will be about, and that's not completely unusual. This poster tells you exactly how the movie is going to end, or if you're more of a romantic, these romantic comedies literally give the last frame of the movies away. I wonder why Tom and Meg never ended up together in real life. But if you want the spoiler of all spoilers, take a look at the Free Willy poster. The point is, Leonard, that sometimes all the signs tell you exactly what you're getting into. Ed Gonzalez from Slant Magazine says that The Shawshank Redemption is beaches for straight men. Right, and Philadelphia is a few good men for gay men.
Gay.
A few good gay men. Tom Hanks has been featured a lot in this video.
Gay.
Perhaps he should also star in a Stephen King movie about prison life set in the same era as this one. Walter Chaw from Film Freak Central says, "A film shot in brilliant color but cast in black and white. Racist much?" Jake Euchre from F5, Wichita, Kansas asks, "Why are these men in jail? Seriously, you can't review a movie you haven't seen. Does Rotten Tomatoes not screen these people? While they're at it, they ought to check his criminal history as well." PJ Nabarro from Patrick Nabarro says, "The problem with the film's fablistic flusiness is that it also asks for investment in the harsh realities of its prison arena to buy the later push for freedom. It ought to go without saying that without the harsh realities of its prison, there would be no need to push for freedom." Cause and effect, PJ, look it up. Now, here's the twist I mentioned earlier. This next critic is the first of 9 critics who gave The Shawshank Redemption a rotten score as recently as this year, 2024. These 9 rotten scores brought The Shawshank Redemption down from 91% down to 89%. But this one's a special kind of ballbuster, because if you look to see what else she's reviewed, The Shawshank Redemption is the only movie she reviewed for Rotten Tomatoes. It's like she was so fed up with Shawshank being the highest-rated film on IMDB that she decided to try taking it down a notch by giving it a bad tomato score. I haven't called anybody this since I ran into Jada Pinkett Smith at Arby's, but this critic, Tracy White, is a slimy bitch. Tracy White from Santa Cruz Sentinel says, "The film feels tremendously outdated. Let's stop there. It was released in 1994, literally generations ago. And you're reviewing this in 2024, and it's set in 1947.
Andy came to Shawshank Prison in early 1947.
In no way, shape or form is this film supposed to feel current. She also says it's unrealistic. It's not a true story, so it has no obligation to be realistic. It never claimed to be a work of art that's trying to mirror reality. You know what? I've had enough of Tracy. Let's move on to these other idiots who brought the score down for this masterpiece. Bill Dupre from News and Observer says, Freeman and Robbins have done wonders, giving Red and Andy nuances that render them memorable, even in the context of a forgettable and formulaic film. You hear that, IMDB users? Bill called this film forgettable. Are you going to let him get away with that? Where's the nerd mob? Kenneth Turan from Los Angeles Times says, its message of hope and friendship comes pre-mixed with a sizable dollop of unappetizing violence, intended to convince audiences that what they're watching isn't a big glob of cotton candy after all. All right, Hungry Gandalf, put the fork down and focus on the movie that has nothing to do with food. This isn't Shawshank Redemption, or No Redemption, or Rat Out Hadley.
Why should I believe a smart banker like you? So I can end up in here with you?
Michael Medved from New York Post says that Shawshank is a hackneyed prison movie with acting so strong that it often seems more substantive than it is. Last I checked, that's called crafting a movie, putting pieces together so artfully that no one sees the mistakes through the cracks. Manola Dargis from LA Weekly says, Darabont making his debut as a director is swamped by ambition. There is just too much here, too much plot, too many particulars, too many prisoners vying for attention. In other words, this movie was too much for this critic to keep up with. Manola should just go back to watching more gentle films like the Mean Girls remake.
Oh God, woman.
David Denby, aka Happy Hogan from New York Magazine/Vulture, says, there's nothing going on in the Shawshank Redemption from shot to shot. No expressive life, no spontaneity or feeling. It's a stunted movie.
What you talking about, Willis?
For the fun of it, Happy, let's just pretend you're right. Maybe that's the genius of the film then, right? That the movie itself highlights and, dare I say it, mimics the horrors and mundane rituals of prison life so much that the redemption at the end is all the sweeter. Look, I know it was hard when Aunt May dumped you.
I just feel so dumb. I didn't realize you were miserable.
No, it was really fun, that's right. You know, that's why they call it a fling. And we flung.
It was fun. I could have been more fun. I can be fun.
We'll hang out again.
Like, when do you think?
But you can't go taking it out on the rest of us. If you jump through to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe, you can try banging his Aunt May for a spell. Fun fact, the actress, Rosemary Harris, is still with us. Hey, wait a minute. Google is telling me she's dead. Is IMDB lying or is Google? We need to put out an APB for the OG Aunt May. I don't want her to be dead. Adam Mars Jones from Independent, UK, says, the sad thing is that the Shawshank Redemption, a so-so film, would have made a terrific little movie. A passier project would have given us less time to notice sentimentalities. I've learned all I need to know about Mr. Mars Jones from this review. Someone along the way told him that crying is bad.
Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop.
So he covers up his emotions by hating on anything with meaning or melancholy or of sentimental value. He kicks over boxes of kittens outside the local Kroger.
They're so cute, but they just won't stop crying.
He gives out paper clips as Halloween treats. He even dated Jada Pinkett Smith before she married upwards. Thereby, as a movie critic, he demands only loud, bombastic movies that never slow down or take the time to breathe, because, my friends, this is a man who doesn't not know how to breathe and be at one with his feelings, because he has none. And now it's time for the most honest review of The Shawshank Redemption. Brian Webster from Apollo Guide says, when the film's conclusion starts to unfold, you suddenly realize that this is one of the more inspiring films you've seen in a long time. Yet, you don't feel the least bit manipulated.
We invite you to stick around and watch any of our other videos. Have a movie request for us? Let us know in the comments. We just might take you up on it. As a new channel, we just started a Patreon. The link is in the description below. Otherwise, share this with a friend and subscribe for more content.